So, do you struggle with the belief that I'm not good enough? I want you to watch this video to go from feeling inadequate to fully believing you are more than enough. I'm Dr. Tiffany Shelton. I'm a psychologist and I'm the owner of Conscious Life Shop, and I post weekly videos on this channel on how to create a manifestation mindset. So please subscribe and be sure to hit the notification bell so you don't miss out when I post every Thursday. So this negative core belief lives in our unconscious and it usually creates feelings of shame, sadness, and even anxiety. It can lead to constantly trying to prove yourself, or on the other end, it can leave you afraid to face challenges. And by the end of this video, it's my goal to give you practical ways so you can overcome this negative belief, I'm not good enough. Because not only are you enough, you are more than enough. And it's my hope to empower you to really tune into this belief of being more than enough by the end of this video. So as a psychologist, I've helped many people to overcome and restructure negative beliefs, and I can't wait to share this information with you in this video. So let's just get started. So my first tip is it's important to understand how these negative beliefs came to be, but I don't want you to dwell on it too long. I want us to quickly pivot to the solution, to quickly pivot to what it is we want, which is overcoming this belief, restructuring this belief. So it's important to understand those parts of our childhood or our past relationships or our experiences that brought on this belief system. But it's also important to know that lots of people have negative core beliefs. All people actually have negative core beliefs, and they show up at different times. And there's more importantly, instead of leaning more into trying to figure them out or dwelling on the past or how they came to be, it's more important to shift our awareness and our focus to overcoming them and to focusing on what it is that we do want to believe. So that's my first tip, is to know why, but don't dwell on it. And my second tip goes along with that. It's kind of to know when this belief shows up more for you, right? So like I said, we all have negative core beliefs that we deal with in our unconscious, but we also have positive beliefs, right? So it's different situations that bring up these different belief systems. And it's usually when you're not feeling good enough, it's usually as a result of due to situations like failures, losses, ends of relationships, or moods like depression or sadness. I also always tell my clients, when you're hungry, angry, lonely, or tired, so HALT, hungry, angry, lonely, or tired, you're more susceptible to leaning into your negative core beliefs. So get a good idea on what are those situations for you that you really notice that you start to see that belief show up for you as I'm not good enough. It could be that when you are feeling overwhelmed or busy, you're feeling like you don't have enough time. That can kind of boil down to that underlying belief that I'm not enough or I'm inadequate. It could be in situations, like I said, like failures, like loss of a job, or you made a mistake on the job. So to kind of get an idea of what are those situations that bring up this negative belief for you, so you can have the power to say, okay, I realize it's one of those HALT situations or failure or loss, and I can also lean into the positive beliefs that I have. And so my third tip goes right along with that. So when you notice that this core belief is coming up, that you're feeling like I'm not good enough, it's a belief underneath some of your other thoughts or emotions. When you notice it comes up, I want you to take a second to restructure that belief by talking to yourself in your head, some positive self-talk, by saying, I sometimes think I'm not good enough, and then giving 2 refuting facts. So when it comes to the unconscious, we only want to deal with facts, and we want to bring up those other positive belief systems that we have that we can lean into. We're not going to try to fight with that negative belief or really argue against it. We're really just going to come up with positive facts that our brain can already wrap around as truth. So sometimes I think I'm not good enough, but I have had successes in my past, and I'm trying every day, and I don't have to be perfect. Something that you can say to yourself that you can know is true on the other side of that, and really restructure the way that feels inside of you, and remind yourself that I don't only have these negative beliefs, I also have positive ones that I can balance out this one with too. My fourth tip to overcoming this negative belief and really letting it have less effect effect on you and be less intense for you is to cultivate ways to lean into your more positive beliefs. And one of the things you're going to do is to live a life of self-confidence and kick self-doubt to the curb. I'm not going to go into too much on how to kick self-doubt to the curb because I do have a video specifically on that, which I will link in the description below. But my point of the tip is to know that you have to act it in your life as well. It's not just about restructuring the thought or positive self-talk. It's also about living your life as a confident person to kind of be able to slowly let that negative belief have less power over you, right? It's not about trying to get rid of it, but maybe reducing the intensity of how it affects you when it does show up. So one way to do that is to live a life of self-confidence, and be sure to check out my video on kicking self-doubt to the curb. Another thing you can do to remind yourself of your positive beliefs to kind of balance out and take away the power of that negative belief is to make a list of all the things that you really love about yourself and all the reasons why you actually are enough. And I want you to make that list, make it as long as you want it to be, and I want you to read it and look at it every single day. And this is going to help stimulate and really strengthen the power of those positive beliefs that you have. So when those situations show up where you usually think I'm not good enough, you can have this really strong foundation of all these reasons why you are enough. My next tip is to get rid of perfectionism. Perfectionism is a type of thinking style that really reinforces the thought I'm not good enough. Because guess what? If you're trying to be perfect, you're never going to be good enough. So you have to get over your perfectionist ways and your perfectionist ways of thinking so that you can really come to terms with the fact that you're more than enough. And I have a video on how to overcome perfectionism, so I'll link that in the description below. I won't go too much into it here because I have a whole nother video on that as well. But the key here is to know that there's no such thing as perfect. So if you're judging yourself by trying to be perfect, you are already setting yourself up for failure. Another quick little thing that you can add to your lifestyle that will kind of help get your mind in the right thinking path that you are enough is to accept compliments without making excuses. This can be one that's really hard for people because every time you're complimented, you want to degrade the compliment or minimize it, or by saying, oh, this was on sale, or oh, I just woke up like that, or well, maybe that's not really an excuse, but you're kind of degrading the compliment that someone gave you. So this is a really easy way to practice letting your mind know that you are enough. So anytime someone tells you that you look beautiful or that you did a great job, accept it, receive the compliment willing without making any excuses. My last tip is to use some acceptance. I want you to accept that this belief may keep showing up, but by practicing the tips that I discussed in this video, it's going to show up less frequently and it's going to have a less intense effect on you. But the key is to not get afraid and try to push it away when you notice these types of thoughts and behaviors of I'm not good enough. The key is to become more aware of the situation, to use some of these tips and tricks, and to know it doesn't have to have power over you or your life or the things that you choose to do into your life. So there may be some more times that you experience the thought or the belief, I'm not good enough, but know that it's going to have less power over you and it's going to happen even less once you start practicing some of these skills. So those are my tips on how to overcome the negative belief of I'm not good enough. Please let me know on the description below, what do you use when this shows up for you in your life? What works for you? Let's help each other out. And if you have any questions, write them in the comments as well, because I answer 100% of my comments always, and I plan on continuing to do that because I love talking about these types of things. I also want to let you guys know, if you're trying to get more into manifestation and you just kind of want an easy way to infuse it into your daily life, I do have a free manifestation routine guide, which I'll link in the description below. I also want to let you guys know about the mala bead necklace that I'm wearing that's available from my store, Conscious Life Shop. So I'll link that in the description below. Right now we're selling it on QVC. It's rose gold tassel and it's marble beads, which I just love. This light may be drowning out the marble, and it has a nice little jewel here, so I just wanted to let you guys know about that. It's great for meditation, but it's also really great just to wear in your everyday life. But those are my tips on how to overcome the negative belief I'm not good enough, and I hope those tips help you. Happy manifesting, and until my next video, namaste.